Market conditions, majority bullish, 14-0 on the daily time frame. S&P futures relatively flat this morning and pushing the upper end of that range, actually meeting and making an all-time high here this morning with this new high. We're seeing 14-0 on the weekly time frame as well. We've got S&P 500 closing out here at 14-0 yesterday. Nice solid bullish move, retracement levels back to around that 6153 level. 236 location is back down to around that 6,000 level. So we've got some range inside of this momentum zone for some retracement and still be considered a pretty bullish market right here. So we'll see if we get a breakout to the upside and then get a retest or a retrace, but we're expanded enough that we certainly could use a retest right here or a retracement of some kind. Doesn't have to happen, but the longer we go straight up, then the higher probability of it coming straight back down. So nice consolidation right here at the upper end of the range, which has kind of quieted the overall intensity of this trend so far. Let's look at the breadth here this morning. We're seeing 65, so still getting some softness on the breadth. That's the number of stocks trading above the 50-day moving average. So 65% of those stocks are still trending to the upside above the 50-day, and that typically tops out above 80. And we hit that level, but we've been retracing ever since. VIX is sitting at 1652, so pulling back a little bit this morning. Dow Jones Industrial Average, we're seeing majority bullish at 14-0 inside of the supply block, which has been this overhead resistance area, has not been able to break out to new highs like the other markets. We're seeing triple Qs also making a new high this morning, 562 on the NASDAQ 100. IWM holding steady in this nice uptrend, pushing towards this upper supply block. I can even start to push this over here just a little bit, and we'll see if we get there up to that 230 range. You can see we had a compression in the trend, working our way back to majority bullish. The weekly time frame also having some compression and now really expanding out of that. So the participation in small caps is really starting to light up a little bit more here in the last month. USO, which is the ETF for oil, is at 77 this morning, right at that 236 or at 382, which is the corrective counter trend location when you have a trend swing low, swing high, retracing back to a fib level 382 to 618. Inside of this range is a corrective counter trend versus a momentum. So we're starting to see that it's holding up at these levels. We'll see if we can push back and continue this trend or not. Gold also continuing its historic move here, but really sideways consolidation pattern here. Tight compression towards the upper end of the trend, obvious here on the chart as well. The weekly time frame really expanded in this weekly time frame. We're seeing the dollar also getting a little bit of strength right here towards the bottom end of its trend. SLV, which had a big nice breakout. SLV, which is the ETF for silver, moving out above that $30 range several weeks back and continuing that overall breakout, getting some pretty nice expansion and trend on silver. The 2-year treasury at 387, majority bearish on both the daily and the weekly time frame here, as it has had that big run up and then retracing. Now we're just getting this tight compression on the 2-year treasury. 10-year is also a similar type pattern where we've had this big run up, consolidation, pretty tight range. It's really held around this 450 range on average for a couple of years now. We'll see if that continues to be the case or not. A couple stock ideas to consider. You've got ALLE, which is in the tools and hardware space, the lock space in terms of door locks and bit for buildings, things like that. Interesting pattern in that name as well. We're also seeing NSC confirmation bar, big volume. It's already in momentum, but continuing that overall move higher. That is in the railroad space. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.